What's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. We've got some breaking news today about the SEC Gary Gensler situation. Who's going to be replacing them? Yesterday, we covered one name that was shown out there in the public. Now, today, there is a second name. We're going to be getting into that. How is that important for you and your bags in the next 6 to 12 months? Also, breaking news, our community, if you are a member of our community already, go check your email. It is official. Early bird access is now available. Go check your email. Get started with that. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to be sharing that with you a little bit at the end of this video.
Before we dive in, please note that the opinions in this video are for informational and educational purposes only and do not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. All investments, including cryptocurrencies, carry risks and potential losses. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor. We are not licensed financial advisors, and relying on our content for financial decisions is at your own risk.
We will also be jumping over here to X to take a look at what's going on. We're also going to be jumping into the XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum charts. Seems like everything's going what we've been talking about as far as those three coins over the last couple of days. Also, huge news about Jerome Powell, who's being stubborn. In fact, we'll start right there. So today at a press conference with Jerome Powell, one of the people in the press asked him, hey, will you be stepping down, or are you ready to resign if Trump takes office, which obviously he's going to be. And he said he would not resign if President-elect Trump asked him to. So no matter what, he's staying in place. Now, what is interesting, I read through a lot of the comments in there and they're like, oh, this, that, and the other, it's a government agency. He can't do that. Trump's going to tell him. But I'm still mind blown by the fact that most people don't know that the Federal Reserve is not a government agency. The Federal Reserve is a privately owned bank. They are the ones who assign this guy his job. Now, if there is an uproar or something like that, the board of directors can decide to make him step down, but we'll see what happens.
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
So I'm not sure of any animosity between Powell and Trump anyway, but that's a pretty gangster move by Jerome Powell, just straight up no. During his tenure, Jerome Powell has done a pretty decent job, in my personal opinion. The only problem is the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, all the other members, they're never honest. And every word that they say, doesn't matter who it is, Jerome Powell or whoever, every word they say, every conference they come out with, it affects the markets so dramatically. That's why people have a problem with Jerome Powell or whoever's there, because if they're holding a bag and Jerome Powell says something wrong and the market drops, like, oh, I hate that guy, which is understandable because there's money involved there. But the reality is the Federal Reserve, they already have their plan and it's set for years in advance. The fact that they come out and do these dog and pony shows is just a bunch of BS anyway. And today's breaking news as far as who's going to be replacing Gary Gensler over at the SEC. This is the latest post from Cointelegraph here. Crypto lawyer says SEC's Mark Ueda has a high chance of becoming the next chair, while crypto mom Hester Pierce, who we talked about yesterday in depth, is unlikely to replace Gary Gensler. So there is some names coming forward as far as who's that going to be. So, of course, yesterday, the name that was pitched was Hester Pierce. Must have had some really not so great things coming back as feedback, because now the very next day they're pitching out Mark Ueda. And if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, crypto.com got a Wells notice and it really set a huge firestorm across the entire crypto industry. Well, Ueda, working for the SEC, he came out in support of crypto.com, as you can see in this video here.
Being here.
Well, it's great to be here.
What is the SEC doing regarding crypto?
Well, I think our policies and our approach for the last several years have been just really a disaster for the whole industry. We have been setting this policy through enforcement. We've done nothing to provide guidance on it. And as a result, this is being shaped by the courts. And different courts have ruled different ways. I think what this Wells notice is, and while I won't comment on the specifics of this litigation, the Wells, what has gone on is part of a broader frustration with the fact that we have not provided interpretive guidance as to what you can and cannot do. And if you are involved in some sort of securities offering, how you register, how you get regulated as a broker-dealer, how you get registered as an exchange.
So currently, Mark is in the lead for the potential of removing Gary Gensler, or not removing, but replacing when Trump decides to remove Gary Gensler. There are talks that they may be removing him prior to that. So prior to January, Gensler could be gone like this week in reality. Everyone doesn't like him. Even his own SEC counterparts don't like him. So everyone knows he needs to go. Also, if you were on Twitter X today, you would have noticed this circulating around. Breaking: Gary Gensler is under investigation. So as of September 10th, so this has been kept on the hush. No one knew that this was going on except for the people in the know. This was a request for documents, and it needed to be provided no later than 5 p.m. on September 24th. So this is definitely going on, full on inside right now. This was by Chairman Jim Jordan, Chairman Patrick McHenry, and Chairman James Comer, who are really going after Gary Gensler here. And that leads me to this next post here from Jeremy Hogan. And if you're not familiar with Jeremy Hogan, great guy, by the way, let's take a look here. He's partner at Hogan & Hogan Law Briefs. He's the one that when the SEC first filed this complaint, and then all the way through the entire process, basically, anytime something new came out from the SEC, he would get on his YouTube channel and he would explain it in layman's terms. So it made it really easy for you to understand, which was super nice. So he posted, so what happens to the Ripple SEC case and Coinbase case, which we just talked about before, next year? Well, I wasn't sure about the nuts and bolts of it all, so I listened to a great space by John Reed Stark today. And the most likely scenario is this. 1, Gary Gensler steps down before January 20th. So we were just talking about that. The new head or interim head sends out marching orders to all the non-fraud crypto cases need to be disposed of, meaning ended, cut them off, get them out of here. It's not worth it. The litigation team looks at each case and recommends to either settle or dismiss each and brings their recommendations to the commissioner, who then vote yay or nay. There will now be 3 reps appointed, so it will be yay. My thoughts on specific actions: 4, Ripple case or any case with a ruling will be settled for the judgment amount, $125 million. It would be awkward to settle for less than what is already awarded by a court. The Coinbase and other cases in litigation will simply be dismissed. And this will take some time, not January, but perhaps before the summer. And that's his call on sticking to it. And you can listen to the actual full-on information here. So it's a call on Spaces. They recorded it here. And I'll go ahead and share that with everybody. So when you're over here on X, you can find me, Win with Ryan, at Real Win with Ryan. I'm going to go ahead and retweet this. So you can just find my account and you can find all this data. I'll retweet everything for you, so it makes it easier for you to find. So going on and elaborating on this a little bit more, John Reed Stark, the same guy who did this call here, FYI, stick a fork in the SEC, it's done. Stuart Alderati also had something to say. And for those of you guys that are not aware of who Stuart Alderati is, he's the chief legal officer over 35 years for Ripple, 35 years of legal experience with expertise in regulatory affairs and complex litigation. And Stewart says here, John, a staunch SEC supporter, has the class to say, the people have spoken. Gensler and his anti-crypto minions should voluntarily stand down. Or as John explains, the SEC's new chair, when appointed, will use the agency's internal mechanisms to remove them. Either way, it's over. And sticking on the XRP timeline, SEC here, Brad Garlinghouse also put out a post. I've shared some thoughts on what the Trump administration could mean for crypto and wanted to also recognize the XRP family's patience and unwavering support. A lot has happened since XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's been a while, which was awesome back then. It's been at times a frustrating journey. 6 years since the SEC started meddling in the crypto market, picking winners and losers. 4 years since the SEC sued Ripple. And now finally, we see a light at the end of the tunnel as these external, frankly, unnatural and manipulative market factors fade. The tides are shifting, headwinds are turning into tailwinds, and the opportunity for those of us who believe in the XRP future of XRP is enormous. I did throw a little comment in here, though. I said, you need to stop selling your escrow tokens on us. That's supposed to say us, not is. But man, I cannot stand it. Every first of the month, XRP dumps on us no matter where the price is. They keep on taking those escrow coins and selling them on the open market. All right, sticking with the theme of XRP, David Schwarz continues to take a crap on banks. He's so fed up and upset with the banks. Take a listen to this. Now, before we get into the video, I did want to remind you, a couple of days ago, we played another video of him where he talked about wanting to move billions and billions and billions of dollars. And he said, it's really exciting every time we get a headline that Ripple has partnered with another bank because it brings headlines and it's really positive as far as news goes. But in reality, these banks don't want to do anything. They partner with us and they never actually want to transfer money.
I think there definitely are forces that would like to push pause. You know, one of the things I discovered at Ripple when working with banks is that the big banks, who everybody thinks like the system is all set up to favor the big banks and they've got the whole system rigged and everything. That's true, but there's like 5 big banks.
Sure.
And then there's 2,000, like your local community bank feels the same way about big banks as you do. You know what I mean? Like, because they are like constrained to use, you know, a financial system that's rigged in favor of the very, very largest. But if you're not one of those small handful, you know, they're not super happy with the way the system is either. They would obviously prefer to be higher up in the sort of financial pecking order. And so that's something that you can kind of exploit. It's surprising who your allies will be.
So as everyone suspected, he says there's 5 main banks that control everything. Even your small local banks and your credit unions, they already want to get on board using Ripple and transferring money with Ripple. But those big major banks, they're just happy using Swift because it's the easy way for them. They don't care if it takes time. It doesn't matter if it's hard on us as consumers because we're stuck, as long as they just keep using it. But the flipping of the switch, the reset is coming, as we all know. All right, and before we jump into the charts, this was pretty interesting that I found today also. BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong, has a video of him chatting it up with Don Jr. quite some time ago, and he elaborates on this. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this video.
We also got coins like XRP that are working to change the banking system. XRP is a coin that, what they're trying to do is make it to where they can do international cross-border payments much faster. So Bitcoin and XRP are both what we know as networks of value. So SWIFT system that runs the banking system right now, the international transfers, cross-border payments, it's a network of information. So when something is happening on the SWIFT system, somebody's got to come in on the back end and do all the work.
Yeah.
Well,
so if you're dealing with time differences and everything else,
100%.
like you would in an international transaction, that creates the headache.
What creates
or the time lag, really.
Well, it's 5 to 7 days is how long it takes for these things to actually settle. With XRP, it settles in 30 seconds because it's a network of value. Also,
and this post came from a retweet of Riz, and this is from Crypto Insight UK. He said, I did not realize Ben Armstrong shilled XRP to Donald Trump Jr. For this. I thank you. In the last 2 days, I've seen evidence that I'd not seen before that President Trump and his son definitely know about XRP. Then what was really cool, as this chain was continuing on, BitBoy Crypto chimes back in as well. And he goes on to say, yeah, it was awesome to explain XRP and represent the XRP army to Donald Trump Jr. But he said, off camera, I also discussed that I believe that the singular act of going Bitcoin would win the election for his dad. I shilled this idea to him because I knew this could change things for the country. And obviously this video was quite some time ago. So interesting, were they already thinking about the Bitcoin play? I think the crypto team really made a huge difference for the Trump campaign. All right, jumping over here to the charts now, guys. We are currently sitting at 55 cents. So what is exciting, we've now had one, I guess you could even consider this. It was a doji. It wasn't red. Okay, so green 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row now to the upside. Now, we did run into that area that we talked about yesterday. We've actually broken above it when it comes to this level right here. I wanted to show you this clean chart before we turn on what we've been charting over the last couple of days here, because I can get a little more busy, all right? So first and foremost, let's turn off the fair value gaps. And we talked about these areas of interest and how important they were. We did say that, and this was a couple of days ago when we were here, that if we lost this area, we were probably coming back here to the 44-cent zone. It's looking like bullish momentum has officially started, right? Because if we look at, this is on the daily chart, so it's not official, because the 10 exponential moving average, as we've been talking about, the 10 needs to cross over the 30 and the 50. So that'll be in a day or two when we get confirmation on that larger of a time frame. We look at the 12-hour though, it started to happen, right? So we got the white that's crossed over the yellow and the red. The white is the 10, the yellow is the 30, the red is the 50. What we need next on this 12-hour, which is a pretty large time frame, the yellow also needs to cross over the red, because then we will have white, yellow, red, and that is the sign of bullish or bearish. Over here, it was white, yellow, red, and boom, the bearish was kicking in, all right? So we want that to be bullish now, and we already do have that on the 4-hour. And the 4-hour is a pretty powerful movement and a pretty powerful time frame to think of. So we have the big move of the white 10 exponential moving average. If we can continue to maintain that, what I'm watching right now is on the 4-hour that it always continues to maintain above the white 10 exponential moving average. Very, very powerful and important. What you'll also notice here on the 4-hour is this green line right here. That is the 1100 exponential moving average. That works as a magnet, and it's pretty impressive on all time frames. For example, we're here on the 1 minute time frame, and we have the 1100 exponential moving average. You can see how it keeps on bouncing off of it, running away, come back, bounce off of it, run away. Great. Now going back to the daily charts here, we have moved out of this area of interest. Okay, so this is now become an area of support potentially if it comes back to this level. Right now, our Bollinger Bands got nice and tight down here the last couple of days, and that's why we have the explosive move, right? When the bands are really spread out, they come back real tight. It gives you an explosive move opportunity, which we've had now to the upside. We have gotten outside of the Bollinger Bands here, though, pretty dramatically. Now you can see them a little better. It's these blue lines here, the Bollinger Bands. What we're really excited about is the fact that on the monthly, they've gotten really tight on the monthly time frame here. And when it got real tight, which was right here last time, we can see the last time the Bollinger Bands were this tight in this zone, we had a couple of months, but then we had the rocket ship to the upside. Right now, Bollinger Bands are even tighter than they were over here. So the potential of a move to the upside it's there. It's just waiting to happen. I know a lot of people are getting very excited about the move we're having because we went from 50 cents up to 55 cents. The one thing that I'll let you know, we're going to go ahead and switch back to the 4-hour time frame. And what you'll notice, that area of interest that we've been talking about, which is right here, it broke through with a wick, but unfortunately the body of the candle did not get out, and now we're stuck there. We have to penetrate back through this to the upside and get all the way out. All right, going back to our sell-off chart here, which we've been following. So these blue lines here represent the first of every month. And that is when XRP gets unlocked from Ripple's escrow. And then historically, it's dropped. And this month, it did drop, but it didn't drop too hard, right? So it only dropped down to that 50-cent level. And it was nice, that 50-cent level. We also have these levels marked off, historically important key levels. If you're using TradingView, you can use these because they do work really well. So it's the even levels I've got marked off in the white. So you got 50, 60, 70 cents. But the more important levels are actually the red levels or orange colors, right? So that's the 55, 65, 75 levels. Those are support and resistance quite often. Now, when we're going through this, as we can see, yesterday we did break through the 55-cent level. Today, testing that right now. Right here, it acted as a resistance for 9 days before the drop right here. There is significant bullish momentum in the market. We would like to see the push up now from 55 to that 60-cent level, where we will run into some resistance, of course, but that's to be expected because it is going to be getting into our next zone. This is our next zone area right here, the 60-cent zone. This is on the daily chart, and then the way we do this is by going to Heikin-Ashi candles. finding the highest point before the drop. So the last up candle before the down move. This is on the daily though. So let's take it a little smaller. Let's go to the 2 hour and get more of like a precise location of where price could be going. So if we take a look here on the 2 hour, let's go to 1 hour even, because I'm willing to bet you that in this big massive drop that we had recently right here, that there's a random green candle right where the wick went from the other day, right? So yesterday's wick went way up and then it rejected off. If we take a look, this is the drop. There's some interference, some green candles on the way down. Those are important levels. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and box them off. Okay, so let's go. Let's go ahead and remove these purple ones because we can put those back later. We know those are daily. We're on the hourly. We're gonna mark off all of the green candles, our areas of interest, which will be this one, and we're gonna actually paint them white and white box infill as well. And then our next area of green, which is right here, and take a look at that 1 hour 1100 exponential moving average is right there too. We talked about that. So there's another area of interest. It actually gets really turbulent right in here. There's one, and then here's one, and then here's one. Okay, so getting up to this next level up to like 65 cents is going to be a challenge. It's got a lot of interference on the way up there. Unless some sort of breaking major news comes through. But let's go through it. So as we saw from this level here, there was a nice smooth drop into this lower level box that we were in for quite some time. You can see it just like price kept going to it, working through it, trying to get above it, broke down below it. Then as of recent, we went up, we broke through it. It became a support rather than a resistance. Delete that. So it became a support right here. It ran up, came back, tested off of it, and it's going back up again. So where did this wick go? The wick did not make it up into the hourly range, which is totally fine. So that means it's going to be on a smaller time frame. So let's go to 30 minutes. Because I want to find the area that wick ended up going to. And there's one right there. It's going to have to be a different color. White. Let's make it pink. Or something. All right. So now this is a area of interest on the Heikinashi candles from October 2nd, 2024. Let's see if this is where yesterday's wick wicked into. And what you can use, you can just keep dropping down onto smaller time frames and using them. So boom. All right. So it went right up into there. It actually went through it a little bit and then rejected from there. But I knew it was going to be in that zone area. But what does that mean? Well, that's good news, right? So it got up in that level, acted as resistance, but now we know that it wants to go back to that area again. Flipping back to the daily here, which is good news. We've got this green, 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 4 green candles. So you can see, like I said, on the Heikinashi candles, it looks a little smoother. When we go back to traditional candle sets, though, we are about to make that move to the upside. It's getting really, really positive here. Jumping to our Bitcoin chart, we can see on the daily that yesterday it did push through a new all-time high again, but it was pretty indecisive for the day. So let's move this. So now the new all-time high, 76,849. Turn on the Heikinashi candles. And let's go down to the 4-hour time zone, because where is the potential retest, right? So we talked about this one right here. This was the up move. It ended up breaking through that level nice and hard, which was good. Now we have this zone right here, which is a lower level 4-hour support now. So when price gets back to this level, it should rebound off of our 10 exponential moving average. And it is also a 4-hour area of interest. So lots of positive signs there that we can continue the move to the upside. Now, what's also really nice, I use this indicator down here. It's the TDI plus RSI divergence. And you can find that in TradingView. Just search it, TDI plus RSI. But what's really great on this 4-hour time frame, we take a look right here, it called out a bullish divergence right here. And then boom, it got bullish for sure. That was a really nice move from the bullish divergence call there. Jumping over to Ethereum, yesterday we talked about this nice push up, and then it was starting to create this level right here that it needed to break. So this was a current level that was from this resistance line Was it going to act as a resistance again at 28.16? Or was it going to be a support? So right now it actually blew through it. And then we talked about two options. Price is going to move up, which it has, come back down, retest this trend line, possibly this trend line, and then move up from there. The next level area of interest for Ethereum is up at 31.34. That's on the higher time frame of the daily. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. So the 4-hour Heikinashi candle from here, it just waterfall down. So there's nothing there. Let's look and see if there's a 1-hour intermediate zone we can take a look at. Yeah, so on that big massive drop, there was a couple of little slopes on the way down. So let's go ahead and highlight these. So we'll do this one here. The very last green candle before the drop. The sideways trade, the very last green candle before the drop. And there we go. All right, so on the hourly, and you can also see here too, guys, this is what we talked about. So you'll see when price, the 10 exponential moving average is on the left-hand side of the price is on the left-hand side of that exponential moving average. And we got the white, yellow, red. Again, that's the 10, 30, 50 exponential moving averages. That's the more bearish signal. Okay, now going back to present time, we have these two sections marked off now. Where is price? Where did it get to? Price did push right through it, and it's stuck at this level now. So if we can continue this move to the upside, our next level would be the $3,000 mark before getting up to the higher time frame level of 31.34. There is a little bit of a bearish indication going on right now. We have a bearish divergence that has happened right here on this red candle. It did come down for a moment and then pushed up again. So we're going to get a double bearish. Well, the reason why I mentioned that is this is on the hourly, and price and the moving average of the RSI is over 80. This is completely overbought. Like, this is outrageous, but it is bull market scenario situation. So, but again, that's only on the 1 hour. Let's go back to the daily. The orange center line, the average price line, has a long way to go to get up to that 70 here on the daily. So again, the hourlies, there's a lot of fluctuation compared to the daily charts. So always start with the higher time frame to get your bigger picture where price is going. There's definitely a good move available to the upside. Lower time frame showing a possibility of a breakdown, retest of that line it broke through, which was a resistance, creating a support and moving to the upside. 2 days, 22 hours. At the time of recording this video, early bird list is closing soon. So you want to get in here as soon as possible. Go to bullrunners.com. Or you can click the link down in the description or in the pinned comment only on YouTube. Do not click any other link down below besides the pinned comment, or the description is just a smarter one anyway. Early bird list closing soon. You got 2 days, 22 hours. Take your knowledge, your portfolio to the next level. Join our early bird exclusive list for altcoin picks, market analysis, and get early access to our crypto education platform. All you got to do, bullrunners.com. Or click the link down below, click reserve my spot, the green button, enter your best email. Once you go through this, you're also going to get access to our Bull Runners Telegram as well. And this one, we do altcoin picks, we do charting, everything over here. You can come check it out. All you got to do, bullrunners.com, get signed up. All this amazing news is happening right now in the crypto world. And a lot of people have been reaching out. They're starting to get that FOMO feeling. And I completely understand it, right? Like, oh man, I wish I had $10,000 more that I could put into crypto right now. I want to sell my house. I want to sell my car. Well, hey, I'm not a financial advisor. I just would not ever suggest doing any of those things. We do have an opportunity right now where you can actually earn money on the side, a side hustle, partnering with us. You don't even have to create your own thing. And you can click the link down in the description below, but check this out.
Bull runners, this is super time sensitive, especially if you're looking to stack more crypto before the bull run is over. Did you know that Visa and MasterCard lost a $5.5 billion class action lawsuit for imposing unfair fees on merchants and business owners? So if you own a business, or if you know any business owners that process payments with Visa or MasterCard between 2004 and 2019, that's 15 years, you could actually be owed a refund of 1 to 1.5% of your total revenue from that period That's a lot of money. For example, this business that generated 1.6 million in credit card revenue during those years is getting back $28,000. This business that generated over 7 million is getting back $93,000. And this business that generated over $20 million during those years is getting back over $320,000. That's money they didn't even know was on the table. And all they did was fill out a form through the link below this video. It literally takes less than a minute to see if you qualify, but you don't want to wait too long because the deadline to file is February 4th, 2025. So the sooner that you fill out the form below, the sooner that you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. Plus, if you don't have a business, you can actually earn 3% by referring businesses that do qualify by creating your affiliate account through the link below. So this is a no-brainer way to get money back in your pocket to use for your business, or if you want to use it for crypto or other assets to invest in, you can do that. So click the link below. Let's get you paid.